The cryptocurrency market plummets. Inflation data and the fall of Celsius network have generated significant panic in the market as Bitcoin reaches $20,900, a price level not seen since December 2020. We'll be discussing all of this as well as other news stories here on Mundo Crypto's newscast. As we saw in our analysis, the United States inflation data is nothing but worrying. The Employment Statistics Office places it at 8.6%. As this data came to light, markets started shaking while the SP500 Index dropped by 4% in just a couple of days. Bitcoin unfortunately wasn't spared either, as it began its downward slide on the day the inflation data was revealed. All we can do now is pay close attention to the Fed meeting, which in the face of this alarming inflation data could adopt more severe positions in regards to interest rates. One of the reasons behind the crash of the cryptocurrency market as well as the overall state of panic is Celsius Network. This platform, which offers cryptocurrency financial services, has halted withdrawal, exchanges and transfers of its protocol's accounts. According to a statement, the company has taken said action due to the market's volatile conditions and therefore looks to protect and preserve their assets. Despite this explanation, it seems as though liquidity issues may be the true cause behind all of this, seeing how this platform has liquidated part of its holdings, specifically a whopping 3,500 Bitcoins and 50,000 Ethers, which have made their way to FTX after being routed through several different wallets. This has generated a lot of controversy, and even more so given there were already many who criticized Celsius, who distrust the high yields of Celsius network and its connection with the failed Terra stablecoin UST. Speaking of Terra, one of the leading developers of the ecosystem who works under the pseudonym of Mr. B claims to have predicted the crash of the ecosystem and that he warned Do Kwon, although Do Kwon ignored him. Mr. B claims that he warned about the dangers of offering 20% rewards on Anchor Protocol. He says that Do Kwon's vision was to attract a large number of users with the rewards even though the company's sustainability was put at risk. It's been a complicated week for Binance. The leading news platform Reuters has published an extensive report about how, supposedly, Bitcoin has collaborated with its users to carry out money laundering activities. The company seemingly acted as an intermediary in fraudulent money laundering and the illegal sale of drugs. Binance responded through a statement on its website in which it denied any such accusations. Changpeng Zhao, Binance's leader, even called the report fictitious. From mistrust, let's move on to trust. Tron's new stablecoin USDD will be backed 130% above its value. USDD was launched on May 5th and already looks to offer security solutions to investors. To achieve this, it has decided to overcollateralize its stablecoin more than usual in order to prevent it from losing dollar parity. Tron's DAO has already deposited over 10,500 Bitcoins, 240 million USDT, and almost 2 million TRX into its reserves. This way, the platform looks to offer extra security to investors at a moment in which confidence in algorithmic stablecoins hangs by a thread, specifically following the crash of the entire Terra ecosystem and its USD stablecoin. The Solana project looks to position itself in South Korea. The Solana Foundation and Solana Ventures have just created a fund for NFT and GameFi projects in the South Korean country. The aim is to inject $100 million to boost projects in the sector. At the moment, South Korea's regulatory framework is not precisely in favor, as it bans games that involve financial benefits. However, Solana seems to have high hopes that this will change, given the fund created by the government itself for investments in NFT and metaverse projects. From one country's regulatory framework to another, a new bill to regulate cryptocurrencies has been presented in the United States. A 69-page text has been sent to the Senate, stating that stablecoins can be used as a means of payment and small payments made with Bitcoin are exempt from taxes. This news opens doors to greater adoption of cryptocurrencies in the United States. And more good news for cryptocurrencies in the United States. Ripple crosses yet another one of the SEC's hurdles. The regulatory body had filed a motion in court to keep the evidence provided undisclosed, but the courts refused and have actually requested the SEC to write a report specifying the evidence which must remain confidential. Ripple's lawyer assures that the SEC did not want the address of one of their experts to be revealed and that they look to take advantage of this sensitive information to request that a large number of documents be kept secret. But Judge Analisa Torres sees no reason to hide all of this information. This is not the only legal battle the SEC may be caught up in, as Grayscale, the large investment fund manager, readies its arsenal. Grayscale is seeking approval for a Bitcoin ETF, a fund that includes Bitcoin-related products. But the regulatory body has been postponing a final resolution on the ETF, and now Grayscale has chosen to hire one of the best lawyers in the United States to take the case. It seems as though this week has been full of legal battles, as the IRA Financial Trust Pension Fund has recently sued the Gemini exchange over a security flaw, which allowed cyber criminals to seize $36 million from their clients' accounts. According to the lawsuit filed, Gemini did not apply sufficient security measures to guard the cryptocurrencies. Apparently, the exchange did not freeze the accounts once the attack occurred, allowing criminals to withdraw the funds. As for the DeFi sector, it has been a busy week for Optimism. The platform announced the loss of 20 million tokens due to a bug in the Wintermute. The Optimism Foundation itself acknowledged that providing liquidity in the OP token through a $20 million loan was a mistake, as it allowed attackers to gain control of the global amount of assets. But in a turn of events, the hacker has returned 17 million tokens to the Optimism contract address. A post was published on the platform requesting the return of the funds. Following this request, data from Etherscan reveals how 17 transfers of 1 million of the stolen OP tokens were made. The payment services company PayPal continues to immerse itself in the world of cryptocurrencies. The company's vice president believes that there is a real opportunity to accelerate adoption within the industry. PayPal seems to be increasingly aware of the advancement of cryptocurrencies. In fact, the CEO of the company, Dan Schulman, declared to have bitcoins. In addition, PayPal is rumored to be developing its own stablecoin. And in the United States, companies seem to be ready to accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. This was revealed by a Deloitte report, which was disclosed opinions of directors of retail companies in the United States. 85% of respondents believe that cryptocurrency payments will be considerably common over the next 5 years. Now, one of the most popular series has made its way into the world of NFTs. The 4th season of Stranger Things premiered recently, and Netflix wants to turn a profit. To do so, it has partnered with the digital collectible company Candy Digital to launch the first NFT collection of this line. The collection will consist of 11,353 exclusive digital items featuring 18 of the main characters of the series. Following its successful launch, Candy will create an online game based on these non-fungible tokens, adopting the iconic aesthetic of the 80s on which the series is based, in which those who complete the game are rewarded with an exclusive access to different products. Now, let's leave the science fiction series behind to talk about one of the best-known writers in this field. Neal Stephenson coined the term metaverse 30 years ago in his famous book Snow Crash, and now he has decided to create his own digital world. Hand in hand with the former president of the Bitcoin Foundation, Peter Vessenes, he has decided to build what, according to them, is the first truly open metaverse. This blockchain project will be called Lamina 1, and its goal is to become a place that supports creators, artists, and techies building the metaverse. Now, let's move on to analyze the cryptocurrency's latest movements. Starting with top gainers, take a close look, as 4 out of the 5 cryptos that have risen the most are stablecoins. But why? Because we're in a bearish market and investors are taking refuge in these stablecoins while they wait for the storm to pass. The only one that has increased, although minimally, is Leo from the unsaid Leo project, which we'll also be analysing tomorrow in our Crypto of the Week. Now, in terms of losers, we have Curve, the decentralized exchange token that has had a gun to its head when the Terra ecosystem collapsed, which we've explained in this video right here. ApeCoin has also fallen drastically over the last week. Following the distribution of these utility tokens for the other side metaverse, ApeCoin collapsed as investors aren't getting much use out of these at the moment. The Aave token has also dropped, but why? Because all DeFi protocols are in crisis. The overall state of fear has caused investors to withdraw their funds, which is why the TVL has dropped significantly. In fact, looking at TVL, one of the major blockchains, they have all seen a drop over the last 7 days. Not a single one has escaped the fear of investors and the loss of funds. And in the field of NFTs, let's take a look at one of the largest with market cap. Flow continues to lead the ranking, followed by the well-known utility token of Decentraland Metaverse, Mana. Just a few weeks ago, Decentraland announced that it would be screening The Infinite Machine in its metaverse, a film financed entirely through an NFT campaign. Well, we'll have to make sure to watch that movie. Tune in next week for the latest news around crypto and blockchain technology. Thank you and goodbye.